Let's flip this $5 coffee table that I thrifted. It was in kind of rough shape, but I saw the potential. I used my carbide scraper, which is an awesome tool. I removed all this old finish, and what was left, I sanded off with my orbital sander. I scuff sanded the legs because I planned to paint them, and then you could really see the damage. This was not from me over sanding. This was damage that was already there. I used this Durham's Rock Hard Water Putty. This is what my grandfather used to use. He was a carpenter. You just add a little water, mix it up until it's the consistency you want. I used popsicle sticks to apply it and also popsicle sticks to protect these little grooves here. This stuff does dry pretty rock hard, like promised. Once that was good and dry, I sanded it smooth. Then I turned my attention to the legs. These guys were really wobbly. The hardest part was finding the right size Allen wrench, but then all I had to do was tighten it. This was an easy fix. This leg, however, was in worse condition. It looked like it had water damage. So I mixed up the big guns. This is Bondo paste. This is what mechanics use on cars or body shop workers. It is rock hard. Slathered that on. I sanded it smooth, which I did not record, and then I primed the legs. I was not sure what color I wanted to paint them yet, so I left the primer and started to paint wash the top. I used a really opaque, thick paint wash, so it was more paint and less water. I was hoping this would hide the damage. Wiped it on, wiped it off, and it looked bad. I didn't like it. The damage was still very visible. It was too opaque, I thought, but then didn't do anything to hide the damage. So I started over. I sanded off what I had done and tried a paint tape design on the top with this pretty green color that concealed the worst of the damage. And then I thought it wasn't enough, so I did some black details and then copper, which I thought offset this green really nicely. Then I filled in the remaining damage with these wood filler sticks. They worked actually really well. I was pleasantly surprised. I'd never used these before. That took a while, but it was pretty therapeutic, to be honest. Once I was happy with that, I sealed it with 4 coats of a water-based polyurethane, sanding lightly between coats as always. You can see that I painted the base this green color, but then once it was all done, I didn't really like it. It was just okay. So I sanded it once again and decided to paint it the same dark black color. I thought this grounded it a little bit more, and I was happy with the result. So as a reminder, here's where we started and here's where we ended up. I thought this looked excellent in our living room. I was just staging it in here, but then when we took it out, I missed it. So we brought it back in. I'm keeping this guy. Let me know what you think, if this was a flip or a flop. Thank you so much for watching and joining me as I teach myself to flip furniture. Like and subscribe for more flips. Bye!